What's up, champs? I'm going to break down innovation on a whiteboard real quick, just turnkey as is property, not a fix and flip opportunity. Lots of us out there have this opportunity sitting in our CRMs or sitting in our lead board. Really, if there's any homeowners out there, property owners that are open to selling their property and you find out the condition of the property and you find out the as is value is a little bit higher, 30, 40, 50, 60 grand away. Above what they're willing to sell it to you for. And you also find out that your maximum allowable offer for a wholesale cash offer is also 30, 40, 50 grand away. We usually walk away unless we understand creative finance. But at the end of the day, they have to be open to that. And so if they're not, we walk away. And if we're able to come in and achieve their asking price or close to it, the highest cash offer close to it, we might be the ones to secure the deal, secure the bag. Well, let's just say our MAO on this maximum allowable offer. Let's say we find out the condition is in pretty good condition. Maybe it's 80, 85% of market value, like market ready. And we find out that the as-is value is 350. Let's just say, okay, cool. We're not looking at properties for ARVs. We're not looking for properties that are fully renovated. So I'll explain how to look at them so we understand how to comp them. Let's just say that our number is 250 or 260. That's where we need to be cash. This is what they're asking. If you're writing, I'm not seeing it. Is anybody able to see the whiteboard? Is everybody able to see it?
I'm able to see it, but I don't know if it's a new thing with the iPad, but you need to like zoom in and zoom out to be able to find what you're writing. But I'm able to see it.
Zoom out to 20% if you guys can. I said that a little bit earlier, so I know that I had learned that you guys can't see it unless you're zoomed out all the way. So everybody zoom out to 20% so you can see everything that I'm writing on the board. Everybody good? Everybody can see? This is also recorded as well, so I'll post it on YouTube and you'll be able to definitely see it there. But is the majority of people able to see?
Yeah, let me zoom to 50%.
If you just hit the minus, it should go all the way to 20.
Oh, there you go. Okay, thank you.
What's up, Mike? How you doing, man?
Hey.
Mr. Mike.
All right, cool. So everybody's able to see this. I think this is important for everybody to see. This should be an eye opener. I'm not saying it's going to work on everything, but it's going to work a lot of opportunities out there. And who's to say you can't lock up a Novation every time? You know, even use it on creative deals because you get to put it on a retail market. You allow yourself to put it onto the retail market and open it up to the masses, everybody. So your maximum allowable offer, your maximum allowable offer on this property in a pretty good condition, right? It's turnkey, maybe it needs a little bit of cleanup or whatever, nothing crazy. You need to be at 250. Now, obviously, if it was fucked up, you'd obviously have to have a lower maximum allowable offer. So we find out, okay, as is value is 350. We don't know. The ARV could be 400. It could be 380. I don't want you to look for ARVs when you already attempted that. So you're going to go cash. If cash doesn't work, you look at it for Novation. So cash, we typically look for the after repair value on properties so we can understand and then run our numbers from there to submit our offers. On a Novation, we have to understand more or less the condition of the property and locate properties that have recently sold or are actively listed in a similar condition. And that's the as-is condition. And that'll be like our new ARV. That's how we have to look at it. Because the goal is you could put money into it and renovate it if you want, but that takes more time. If you want to do this quickly, what you'll do, you'll find the as-is value, and that's your new ARV. You're going to look for it. Then you calculate your numbers from there. And I'll explain how those numbers work right now. But 250, let's say it doesn't work. The homeowner's like, Carlos, I'll work with you. I'm open to sell it to you for 300. Right now, we walk away if we don't understand creative or Novation. If we understand creative, we move in. Let's say they say, no, I'm not open to that. Now let's say that you do know Novation as well and they want this cash offer. Well, we're too far away right here from 250 to 300. And there's some wiggle room. And it's as is condition, as is value and condition from 300 to 350. What's going to stop them from listing it? So if they were to list it, they would actually get 350 for it. Maybe they don't want to list it. Now, in my structure and everything, we asked them up front if they would rather list it. So if I'm already in Novation, we already understand they don't have it listed and they don't want to work with agents. So depending on however you do your structuring or you ask your question, that's on you. But at this time, we know that they don't want to list it. So we're like, well, fuck it. If we listed it for them, we could make that fucking difference minus commissions and expenses. And so let's just say 250 isn't the way that isn't going to work for us. How we calculate, how is this going to work for us as investors? Are we going to make some money on this deal? Well, to sell your property, typically it's what, 8 to 10% to sell a house with commissions involved, escrow, legal fees, and things like that, miscellaneous fees. It can be 8 to 10%. So when you're running your numbers, you're now putting in and inputting the numbers to pay for the commissions and closing costs. So let's just be conservative and say 10% of fees you become responsible for. So that comes out to, let's just say 35,000, take off 350, right? So you're left with 315. 315 grand. So that's what you're left with, meaning at the end of the day, if you did this, you would make the difference from 315 to 300. But you weren't able to do it on 250. Now the spreads could be a lot larger depending on what you throw in for your assignment fee. Like you would do this 10% minus your assignment fee, kind of like how you're doing a cash offer. After repair value minus, whatever these buyers are buying at, then your assignment fee, the fee that you're going to make. Now, we wipe this out. 250 isn't going to work. We know that they want 300. So when you run your numbers and oh shit, at the end of the day, it's worth 350. If I listed it, we can sell it and make around 315. So you can either one automatically give them the 300 if you ran the numbers and it did make sense. Like this could make sense for you to do it. You ran your numbers 10% and everything. You threw a $15,000 fee in there for yourself, and then the rest goes to the seller. But the homeowner was so convinced on cash, nobody was close. The highest offers were 250, let's say 260. They didn't want that. Who's to stop them if you offer something at 285, 290, and now you're the closest one? Doesn't mean you can't still sweeten the deal if you understand they really want cash and they don't want to go creative and nobody's giving them their offer. They don't want to list it. Doesn't mean you have to give them the exact asking price. You can get close to it and it can still make it happen. And that's what's really cool. So you can actually give them 300, maybe you can give 290, 280 and see how it works. I've learned this from a couple different people who have their own mentorships. I've seen people do a 2-call close, or they hang up after cash doesn't work, then they call them back with a novation agreement ready to go and be signed. And that's the first time they're presenting the offer. Then I've seen other people just roll in from cash and then roll into just novation. Not a lot of people understand cash, novation, and creative. That's what we're here to teach and stand out, separate. This novation opportunity, if you're not open to it or you didn't know about it, just know that they're there. The opportunities are always there. It's just we have to understand the exits and the strategies. So that's more or less how a novation on the turnkey property works. It's not hard. So how you calculate it is you look for properties that are in a similar condition. So then you can find out what the as-is value is, looking through active comps, active listings, and properties that recently sold in its as-is value. Now, the fastest way to get them sold, let's say you did have it at 350. Let's say that is the as-is value, but you needed a shorter time frame because the homeowner wanted to still do this in 45 days or less. Sometimes it could take time, right? Because you're listing it as what's happening on the market to an agent, with an agent. Bring in retail buyers who are going to bring most likely their own third-party financing to the table. I always thought Novation was like a partnership or something, but I believe it's more like when you're selling the property to somebody who's bringing financing to the table. I have this Novation indemnification document that states that. And so I always thought it was like a partnership. So I always thought it was a fix and flip, but it's not. Now, here's the thing, Carlos, how do you pitch this? Like, how do you really tell them, like, if you're just going to list it, what's going to stop them from listing it? You're right. What is going to stop them? If you already asked, did you ask them that up front? And if you didn't, it's best to try to ask them up front to see what they'd rather do. So you don't waste your time even rolling into cash and Novation if they never wanted to work with you. But the thing is, how am I going to pitch it to them? Hey, can I just list your house, Daniel, and make the difference? I mean, your house is worth more, Daniel. Do you think I could, still give you 300 if I just listed it? I'd make the difference from doing work. Maybe some people will say, yeah. I was talking to somebody the other day. We put them on paper that said, yeah, but they had some issues pop up and we had to get out of the deal. That's not that attractive. It doesn't excite anybody. And what's going to stop them from making the other 50,000 minus, expenses, an extra 15 grand or 20 grand. So this is the way that I've learned on how to pitch it. Now I've learned through Corey's training before this. I forgot his last name, Greer or something like that. And then I learned a lot from a gentleman named Rich Wonders. And we actually had we kicked it with him at a nightclub, Dustin, Josh, and I in Arizona last month. It was cool, but he's really mastered the ins and outs of Novation. And if you don't know the ins and outs and have all the proper documents and like all the overcoming objections that come with it, which are not hard, you just got to learn it. I strongly recommend jumping into his program. It's very inexpensive. Actually, I believe I have like an affiliate link with him where he has like 50% off his course. I don't remember if it's like $1,000 or $2,000. I definitely recommend you guys jumping in and learning, or at least learning with others who know this, because this is he has like the best fucking pitch to go with it. I like it at least. And then I kind of reworded it just a little bit. And the way that he pitches it, so I didn't create this pitch. I usually create a lot of my own shit. This time I'm plugging and playing with his because I'm a student learning it. So I got to learn this strategy in and out before I can create my own shit. I might not even want to create my own pitch for this because his shit is good. I just adjusted the verbiage on it. So how I do it, I rule out cash. When cash doesn't work, I let them know, hey, well, we let you know up front that we were going to be, that we may or may not be able to buy this for X amount of reasons. And then we let them know that we're not gonna be able to buy cash for a certain reason. But then we roll into pitching this. So we're not just gonna ask them if we can list it. Now there are people that do that. I just, think that you're gonna lose more opportunity by doing that. Now I'm gonna use what Rich put together, he calls it a concierge service, which is just a term he put together, right? It's like just saying like, oh, I got bonuses or incentives. Just put some fucking words together and said, hey, this is that program. Really, that program is just fucking listing it with an agent. And so I got the majority of the meat and potatoes and then just reworded it. And this is kind of the pitch. So once I decline cash, I'll jump back on and let them know that we have some good news, that your property was approved for a new program. It's called the concierge service, which is like a white glove service that we provide. And it allows us to pay more money for your property while still keeping it an all cash transaction. So basically from doing various transactions in the state of, usually whatever state you're working that deal on, right? We really have proper systems and tools and resources in place to get properties sold pretty quickly. And we develop a large network of retail buyers that usually buy our fix and flips, but we don't have any flips right now. So they're on a wait list. There are times that we come across properties that aren't a great fit for our portfolio, but could be for some of these guys. And actually looks like your property might be a good fit for some of these guys. I do want to let you know this, that if we move forward on this property with this type of transaction, that I'll have my staff reach out to those waitlisted buyers looking for the next flip. And I'll have them reach out to them, call them to see if this is a good fit for them. And if it is, the great thing is our company is going to go ahead and step in, pay for all the closing costs. We can move on your timeline. We'll buy the property completely as is. So you don't even need to lift another finger or put any additional money into it. But just to be clear, we wouldn't be representing you as a realtor. And the reason I bring that up is because we're not realtors. We're an investment company. And though we work with our own realtors to list our flips, they wouldn't be representing you. So whatever costs that happen to be associated with the realtor will be paid by us. And since we don't have any flips available, we would be reselling our agreement to our third-party retail buyer and collecting a fee directly from them. And this process does take about 30 to 45 days. And sometimes we can get it done sooner. And we came up to this price. And so I got that really from Rich Wonders. And then I just put a little bit of flavor into it, changed a little bit of the words, got a lot of the meat potatoes. And basically in that pitch, I said, yo, I'm going to list your house, motherfucker. I just didn't say it like that. I said, hey, I work with a lot of agents. I fixed and flipped a lot of properties and sold them to retail buyers. I have agents in this market that I work with. No, none of that is true. I don't have agents in that market that I work with. I didn't, flip any properties, and I don't have a wait list of retail buyers. I'm really just going to have you sign the paperwork, and I'm going to find the realtor, and that realtor is going to help me find the retail buyer. But the thing is, I did let them know that I'm not a realtor, because you can't market a property that isn't yours on the MLS, right? Unless you have the agreement for it. Right? So I'm not a realtor. So I let them know that. Then I let them know what I'm going to be doing. So I verbally explain what I'm doing to them, what I'm doing. I'm going to be finding a retail buyer. I say I may or may not use a realtor, though we really are. I say that just to say it. But we're going to be using a realtor. We are going to be finding a retail buyer, and we are going to be getting paid from the retail buyer. And we did tell them we're going to pay for all the closing costs, because we are. You're the retail buyer paying everything out. And that's more or less us explaining how we make money while pitching it. What did you guys think about this little breakdown? And do you have a lot of questions? Did a lot of light bulbs turn on for you? Let me know what's up. Everybody knew that right away.
The pitch was great. The way you present it, I think it sets you up for just everything going smooth. Well, it should be in theory, right? But I love it, man. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's a cool little pitch. You can, obviously people can say however they want. I'm going to list it or whatever. I liked his pitch. To me, I liked it, making it sound like, hey, this is another program, because I do use those in my structure about that. We do have a lot of programs. So it's cool for me because I can bring in that program and say, hey, cash didn't work, but here, check this one out. It still works as an all cash offer. So when I'm readily involved already in the conversation, I'm moving with the energy. I'm heavily involved. We're negotiating. I'm coming in. Oh my God, you got approved on this one right here. Check this one out. It's still all cash offer, still transaction. The difference is we don't have any flips to show these retail buyers that are sitting on our list, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call my staff to call my agent. My agent's going to call those listed buyers. They're going to show you your property. And if they like it, my guys are going to buy your property using their own financing. And they're going to pay me directly. And if they're cool with that, cool. Now, I didn't say directly, hey, I'm going to just list your property and then left it at that, because they can do it. But the way I said it was, I am going to list your property, but I didn't say it directly. I said, hey, I'm going to work with my agents who list my flips, call these retail buyers that are on our wait list for our next flip, but we don't have any flips. Your property will be perfect for them. Let me show them your property. In reality, I'm just going to use some random ass agent in the area to do it. Roger said, what was the ARV? Where does the buyer make their money? Did I miss that? So the buyer is the retail buyer. They don't make their money. They live in there. That's them. They're paying full price. Retail buyer, you're throwing it on the MLS. Yeah. Anybody have any questions on that? Did you guys like that? Did you guys understand it at all? Did I go through it too quickly?
No, that's solid.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Yeah, and you can also, like I'm saying, like, you don't have to come up to their number. Like, let's say you're the only one that can come up closer. Usually not a lot of people understand that strategy. So if you know that when you shoot your cash offer and they say that's too low, you try to get some wiggle room or whatever and they decline, I would always ask, so where's everybody else at? What's your highest cash offer, so I can see if I can beat them? And they're going to give you the highest cash offer. And if they're still a ways away from where you are, for where they need to be, and you now are open to this novation, you can see it to sell for, for more than what you're offering on the MLS. View it as that now. You got to look at it that route now. And if you understand that, you can come in and secure a deal. Now, let's say the highest offer was still 50 grand away, but you found out your novation offer was right on the money where you needed to be. Who's to say you couldn't first shoot out a conservative offer, not your maximum allowable novation offer? What if, you couldn't buy it at 290 where they want to be, but the last highest cash offer came in at like 240, and you're like, oh, this is I can do it at 265 or 270, but you really could do it at 290, their asking price, and they agree to you. if one, they might agree because you're the only one closest to their offer, cash that they like. And so they'll contemplate and they might move on it. And if they move on it, you're going to make more money than you would if you would have offered your maximum allowable offer on that Novation, the 290. You're going to make another $20,000 in your pocket just for listing it. It's cool. Then you guys can use like, if you guys start building relationships with realtors or whatever, and you can do like flat fees, start working with them, or you can do like a flat listing.
Every time. He always does. I forgot to ask him what.
You'll pay out, 5 to 6% though. But there are other ways. There are other methods on how you can reduce the commissions and make a little bit more change. However, that right there is the Novation, guys. So if you guys want to learn more about that, or if you guys are now paying attention, we have some deals in our pipeline that could work for this or could have. Go back out there and check them out. Reach out to us. Work some of these deals. I'll put in like a submission link on the side, basically. So if you guys have any deal opportunities, you can just send them over. They'll link right into our CRM and we'll get straight to them. What's up, Zach? How you doing, man?
Good. Glad to see you on there.
You too, bro. How's the kiddo?
Everybody's doing good, man. Working hard. How you been?
That's good, bro. Nice to hear. Congrats on your business and everything. I like your videos and commercials. They're funny.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for following me.
Yeah. Everything's good over here. Just work in progress. Really trying to build something sustainable for myself this year. Could have done it all alone and been in the rat race, or I decided to partner up, put a team together, devote my time, and bring as much value as I can for my position and what I can do, and really try to push forward and trying to build something sustainable for myself and for ourselves as well. I know Dustin's trying to do the same. And so I'm really just trying to build that out. So we have a business that's a business, and we don't have to always be in the rat race. I like this business. I like when we'll start making a shitload more money. Obviously, I like it more. But I'm not here forever. I like businesses. Like I'm more attracted to being somebody like on Shark Tank. I'm more attracted on that. I'm not saying I'll never be here because I like this shit. It's cool now. Like, yeah, real estate's made the majority of wealthy people out there, and there's a lot of leverage and incentives when working on properties like this or whatever. But I don't find any passion. I don't get too excited working these type of things. It's weird for me to say that, like coming in, pulling up on the scene and shit and looking like I'm enjoying it and having a great time, which was cool. But it's not like I have a dream in here. I never dreamt about this or never really had a vision about it. I still don't get passion on it. It's still not there for me. I don't think it ever will. Sometimes it gets annoying because, I made a lot of early on mistakes and a lot of things I did. So I'm like, fuck all this shit. I'm a good salesman, but being this investor in this real estate, it's cool, but I don't know if it's even for me. But what I did learn through it is when I learned that I closed a couple of deals very quickly. I was always attempting to try to be my own entrepreneur. I failed a whole bunch of times, opened lots of businesses with different mindsets, more immature mindsets, less prepared, and didn't really succeed. And so I was always trying to do what I wanted in life and try to win when I couldn't. Also, I probably wasn't prepared or mature enough, wasn't responsible enough, didn't have the right team probably around me. And so I don't know, I just didn't feel like I had what I needed to be able to do what I want. And it's a bummer because I think a lot of us try to attempt what we want, like our dreams and shit. And sometimes we're just not ready to go for it. And then we lose and fail. And then we forget the dream. And we're like, fuck it, let's just go with this flow thing. What this business did for me, one thing is why I'm here, is because since I was able to close deals and make some quick money and understand it a little bit and then make a little bit of a movement. And though I don't like it, I learned that sometimes you just got to do what you got to do, homie, so then you can do what the fuck you want. And that's why I'm here, because I learned that I can do it, even though I don't love it or like it at all. I'm here to do it. If you like it, cool. But if you're not doing the things that we're doing and you love it, you're inspired by it, I don't know what the fuck you're doing. You're wasting your time here, not giving it your best. But I'm doing it, so then this leverages me and gets me to where I want to be, so that I can go and do what I want and own other businesses. I'm more excited than that than I will ever be in this real estate, though I love people for sure. I think I'm more in the people business than anything, transferring energy and having fun. I just don't fucking know about this real estate game in my mind just yet, but I love sales. I'll tell you that. Does that make sense? Andy's like, yes, it does. It makes sense.
I
Yeah.
feel the same way. I feel the same way.
I don't mean to discourage anybody. I'm just telling you the truth. Like, this is cool.
I wanted to get me somewhere else bigger, and it's hard to focus on this when I want to be there already.
Yeah,
in
but
the
it's
other
step by
game.
step, you know. That's why I took
Yeah.
away too, so I can study and learn more, right? So I can train more. The thing is, you've never owned a business, never been in real estate, never been in sales and no marketing. Like, you have a lot of learning to do. That's all it is. That's why a lot of small businesses fall out of place. You know that. I mean, all of you guys, wherever the fuck you live, you guys know mom and pop shops open up around the corner all the time, year in, year out. Maybe have really good food. That's probably why they opened up shop. Maybe they lay good brickwork. It's probably why they opened up shop. Maybe they color hair. It's probably why they opened up shop. But the thing is, if they don't really understand marketing and scaling and sales, and they're not really like learning more about it, two things could happen if that business succeeds. One, they got a really good fucking product in a good area, and it blew the fuck up, and they're winning because of that. One in a dozen, one in a dime, those motherfucking things, you know, in the haystack. Or two, they learn to work sales, marketing a little bit better, and scaling, like money management as well, all that stuff. They're learning. And if they don't, what's next is what you usually see. Hey, there's a new restaurant just opened up. And then you're like, let's go try it out. And it closed 4 months later. You guys are probably seeing this, right? Like, or what about like somebody just opened up their own hair or did this or their own bar and like, oh shit, this just went out. It just opened up. It wasn't because they didn't pour themselves into learning the products or the strategies. Our products and strategies are wholesaling and creative finance, but others could be like cooking food or, you know, painting cars or whatever. So why the fuck does everybody go out of business if they have plans and intentions to succeed? Just like you have plans and intentions to succeed since you're a small local mom and pops. Why the fuck are they out of the game? Obviously, they opened up like, I can cook food. That's why I'm opening up. You guys believe that you can do this wholesaling thing. The reason why they fucking fall out is because they didn't know what to do with the branding and the marketing and the fucking sales. Meaning, does anybody know who the fuck you are and where you are so we can spend our dollars anyways? Because we're going to spend them anyways. So if you don't know how to brand and market yourself, who the fuck knows where you are, how to spend money with you? You don't know how to spend money in advertising. That's your own fucking, that's your own faults and flaws. It helps out tremendously. If you don't know how to acquire those two things, especially in those different like businesses who are not like, you're not calling people to come to your restaurant. If you're not doing that, how do you expect lead flow to come in? Like your sales to be actually made, people being present there. So then deals can be closed, right? So how the fuck is that going to happen if somebody just studied on how to make the food or just the wholesale? They didn't pay attention to that, right? So let's just say they do pay attention to that. They start getting some people in the marketing and people are coming in, spending their money on their tacos or fucking having them wash their cars and shit. But now the motherfucker doesn't know money management. So he's always spending his money. She's always spending her money and can never pour it into hiring another fucking employee, then a second employee, and then some CRMs and some automated tools in place. And now they don't have to be there all day, every day running the rat race. But the majority of them don't even get past learning to do what they want to do as far as, I can cook my food. Go ahead and open up, doggy. That's fine. Spend your money the way you want. But the thing is, you don't deserve to win in a competitive market being immature, coming into a competitive market of other restaurants or other car washes or other business owners who did take the fucking time, who did went through their own flaws, who did lose money, who went to learning how to do the marketing and branding and the strategies and all that shit and how to scale the businesses. Those motherfuckers deserve to win. Now, if it's corporate businesses, well, they understand corporate games like fucking big businesses, Stater Brothers and fucking, I don't know, fast food chain restaurants. I mean, they got fucking systems and names already built. They're already there. You're going to go and compete in a huge fucking market, but you're not seeing that. A lot of us are not paying attention to that. And I believe that you guys should. Like I said, I shouldn't be using the word should, but I should say it too. And if you're now thinking, holy fuck, I went and learned about all these Zooms on wholesaling and creative finance, but I never studied that fucking hard on how to close deals or how to market myself, how to leverage myself, how to brand myself. And then I don't even know about scaling myself because I don't even fucking make money. We don't even close deals. So how can you fucking pour money into your business? We're not even closing deals. If you're feeling like strongly like that's you, like, whoa, just wake up a little bit. Put on some other hats if you're going to learn. Put on the hat to learn how to close deals because that's what makes you money. Stop spending 10 hours in all these fucking Zooms. You ain't doing shit if you're just in every fucking Zoom, just to let you know. I haven't been in sub 2 or TTP in 10, 11 months, even though I should have and should be learning. I had to go out there and learn my shit. Everything I learned, I went out there and put out there into the ether. And I fucked up on some things. But in 1 year, I learned to fucking live 10 years in this real estate game. That's the fucking truth. Stop being scared. I got fucking scared, sleepless night, anxiety, all that thing happened to me. All it happens. This shit is tough sometimes. But that's also because I was bold as fuck and didn't learn some of the areas as good as I should have. My own flaws. But I'm open to that shit. I blame myself on all that shit. I'm just saying. View it correctly is all. You guys can fucking win. I hope you know that. There are two types of people in life. There are winners. The others we call losers, but some people say they're just people who haven't learned how to win just yet. A loser is somebody who gives up and walks away. Just know this too, if you're listening now and you had a lot of dreams as a kid, a lot of things you wanted to do when you were younger, or even maybe recently, but you failed at it on your first or second attempt, you weren't ready for it. Your mind wasn't primed for it. You actually didn't have any of the skill levels to win yet. Think about this. Go back and see if you can win it, but now have the patience to learn where you're making mistakes on. Okay, no, you just haven't learned how to win yet. You're not a loser, doggy. You're just a quitter. If you're a quitter, you're a fucking loser. You'll never win. But getting up 6 times to attempt a 7th time, that 7th time might be the one you win. You went from not being a winner to being a winner. You found out. So you were never a loser. You just weren't finding the ways to win just yet. And if you're not paying attention to that, you're also you're just real behind on things. You're in a great community full of people who would teach you this, tell you this shit. But because maybe you're introverted and you don't like talking to others, you're gonna go learn the hard way like everything else in life that you've been doing on your own. I think maybe I like talking more about that than I do real estate. I like talking about shit like this. It's cool. All right. Sorry about the ranting, guys. I'm gonna go and break down the Morby method. You guys ready to see that?
Yes.
Let's go.
Does anybody know how the Morby method works, ins and outs or anything like that?
Sorta.
All right. So I truly see the Morby method to be like the last resort of creative finance, and creative finance is already the last resort. So it's like the last resort of last resorts, but sometimes it might be the only solution to somebody who's open to terms. Meaning, this is what I've learned through sub 2, through PACE. There are 3 main reasons why homeowners don't sell on terms. Number 1, because you, the acquisition specialist, you do not know how to explain it and make it crystal clear. So it sounds sketchy, or they still don't have an understanding. Number 2 is a huge reason why. Because they actually are open to it, but they need a certain amount of money that's too high for you to put as a down payment, as an entry fee. Or number 3, because they don't want to. Those are like the biggest reasons. And so this Morby method is when a homeowner is open to terms and maybe they're requesting 20, 30, 40% down for an actual goal that they need for some of their needs. And you walk away because you're like, fuck, I'm going to try to keep the lowest amount down. Just know it's not, creative finance isn't about it's putting the lowest amount. It's about making a deal. Though you like to make things sweet. But there are times if someone were to buy the property and put, $100,000 house in it, it was a $40,000 entry fee, and you're only able to make, $200 or $300 a month. It might not make sense for you to put $40,000, $50,000 on a $100,000 purchase price. It doesn't make sense to anybody to do that. Even if they're borrowing money, your cash on cash return is too low. It'll take too fucking long. And so we walk away in creative finance if we are not able to see the Morby method, which is it's been done before, but Pace Morby, how he's stamped creative finance, though it's been done before, he makes it more visible now. And so what it is it's 2 types of transactions that happen back to back at escrow. And I'm going to explain how they work. Now I'm going to explain how it works for an end buyer, so you don't have to do all this extra intense work that I'm going to show you. Or like it's not a lot of intense work. I just want you to be able to see how the end buyers view it and look at it. Because all you're doing is putting on paper and wholesaling it. The end buyer does need to have good credit or a credit sponsor. It does need to have money sitting in the bank or a sponsor that has money sitting in the bank to perform, because when you're going to do this deal, there's going to be a loan involved. A DSCR loan will be involved from the end buyer that's coming in. There's going to be a transactional lender involved as well. And that's going to close one deal. So the deal gets funded. Then right after that, instructions are for the transactional lender to get their money out, get their profit, and then the seller's equity is going to go ahead and sit in second position where that transactional lender was. And it's going to be recorded. And I'm going to explain in detail why that works, why it goes down that way. But yeah, the Morby method is a solution that comes to the table when a homeowner is open to terms and they want a little bit too much money down for it to make sense. Now, the cool thing is that the homeowner is open to a longer term, 15 to 30 years. I'm going to show you how to lock. I haven't done this yet. I'm working with people that do this. I've been pitching it now a lot recently. I haven't done this yet, but I will. I'm going to show you how to fucking secure a deal and get paid to fucking buy your own deal. And since it's going to be a loan, like a DSCR loan, you're typically going to get 70 to 80% of that loan. Doesn't mean you have to give all 70 to 80% away to the homeowner who might have only requested 30 to 40 for giving you 15 to 30 years, because you can pay yourself the difference after closing on it. And since it was a loan, it's tax free, you know, tax deferrable. And you bought a property, got paid to buy the property, and it'll automatically start cash flowing, or even if it breaks even a little bit, you got principal pay down and tax incentives, and you got paid a shitload of money up front to do it. Very beneficial for the end buyer. We make money wholesaling it and knowing what the end buyer could make if you can underwrite it and see it. So you know how fat you can charge your own assignment fee in there, right? And we already have a designated end buyer who educates us and underwrites with us all the time. He's going to be somebody that's going to jump in from time to time and underwrite with us, so you guys can jump in and see who he is and how we underwrite these deals. I'm going to go ahead and open up another whiteboard. Same thing. Everybody zoom out to, once it's up, everybody zoom out to 20%. So, Morby Method. Call it the Morby. So for this to work, let's just say, so you're negotiating with the homeowner, and let's use 400,000. It's gonna work on millions, on $1 million purchase prices. I'm working with somebody who has a working on a portfolio. I forgot how many fucking units, like 116 units. And the property owner wanted like 20% down or 30% down, but was open to financing like 40 years, like the difference. And my buddy, if he closes on this deal, he's gonna pay him, he's gonna make like a $1.5 million fucking assignment fee, and then automatically cash flow like $11,000 of net cash flow right after that on this property, because of the terms were in place and everything was lined in. I was like, that's a fucking fee, and you're busy as shit doing this. Let me learn as much as I can about this. I'm gonna close on all these puppies right here, because you want to learn all the strategies. You do not want to go against me or my team if you miss a call. You do not want to go against us, especially over the next 36 to 90 days as we improve on everything. If you're calling people in the same markets we are and you drop the ball, just know we answer it. Who's getting it? Either it could be you guys or it could be us. I'm just fucking around, making it fun for you guys. But check this out. So the Morby method, homeowners open to terms already, completely open to terms. They're like, yeah, let's fucking roll with this. This is cool, but I need 20% down. Let's say 30%, right? So let's say they want 30%. So where's my calculator? So let's just say 400,000 times 30%, 120,000. Homeowners like, yo, I need 120 G's, and I'll go ahead and finance you for 15 or 30 years or whatever the fuck you want. So you need this. You need, let's just say down payment. Down payment, okay? Meaning the homeowner is open already to carrying 70% in financing, which is the difference, 280. Seller finance. That makes 100%. You guys see that? 30 and 70 is 100% of the purchase price. Homeowner's like, yeah, I'm open, Carlos, but the thing is, I need this much money down. I need it. You found out it really is. Obviously, if you have strategies that can align with some of these goals, you're going to get something done a little bit sooner than somebody who's going against the grain, right? So you're able to come with $120,000. You know, how does that work though? Right? So let's just say they're open to it, and now you're able to see it. So now you have to, there is a couple of things when you pitch this. There are a couple of things you will need to overcome, but that's if they become objections or issues on these. So when I pitch it, I'll explain the pitch. What happens is this: a lender is going to come in and appraise the property and give you 70 to 80% of that value. So 70 to 80% is a chunk of change that you're going to get. That loan is going to sit in first position. So if the seller has a mortgage in place, that loan has to be enough to clear first position and give them their down payment if that's what they're looking for. Or if they wanted just to get their mortgage out of their name, they're open for you doing this. This is what has to happen, is that they will be setting in second position. That's like really the main thing. But if you get nervous on saying that, then I mean, that's your deciding factor. That's your deciding factor. It's not hard to overcome that, putting them in second position, though you will get some people that won't want to do it, right? That's it. Now, on top of that, depending on the payment on the terms, sometimes they might sit in a second and a silent position, meaning no payments to them. And I'll show you how you can give them a larger down payment than they were requesting. And I'll do that in a different scenario. Sometimes you won't make a payment to them. And the reason why is because when you the end buyer sees this property and is like, yeah, let's do this. They're going to go and get a DSCR loan. And let's just say they get 70% of it, up to 80%. Let's just go with 70, just be real conservative. Meaning your end buyer, whether it's going to be you or you're going to wholesale it to your end buyer, is actually, let's just say right here, let's call this the bank. The bank is giving me 70%, it's $280,000. Though I only agreed to pay them 120. Why wouldn't you just give them the full 280, Carlos? Because you have today's interest rate and a full principal and interest payment to that loan. Why wouldn't you just give them all the money? Because you owe that fucking money anyways. Well, if they're giving you a short period, it might make sense to do that. But if they're giving you 10, 15 years, you can always refi, can't you? With whatever your property is worth. Yeah, so who's to say you couldn't pay yourself the difference after closing costs and fees? And so if I get 70% from the bank, that means you've already purchased your own house. Just to let you know, if you purchased your own house and you guys got a loan, whether traditional loan, conventional, FHA, whether you put 3.5% down or up to 20% or whatever you did, the lender that said, hey, I'll lend you 70% or 80% if you bring in your skin in the game. It's the same thing with this transactional lender, this 70% right here, this bank, whoever it was, they're saying, Carlos, I'll lend you 280 if you bring 30% to the table though. All right, Carlos. So for me to lend you just 280 for you to do this deal, I need you to bring 120 G's to the table for me. Otherwise, I won't fund you. You're not having any skin in the game. I'm not going to fund you. 30% and 70% is 100% of the $400,000 purchase price. And so obviously you had to put your skin in the game, right? When you bought your house, or even if you use another lender's money, you don't need to because you owe that money and now have to put a return on that. What happens is, I'll explain the two transactions that go down, but you do have to come to the table with a 30%, the 30% down, 120, so then the bank can actually fund the deal for you. So the lender can fund the deal at the close of escrow. Now, a transactional lender is who you'd love to use. Transactional lenders are used to fund transactions, right? Or close on double closes or whatever. So what happens is I'll call a transactional lender and let them know what's going on and how much money I need to borrow. I need to borrow $120,000 for a day or whatever, 2 days, 3 days. It's a short period of time. It could be like done within an hour. So transactional lending is usually on short time frames, short periods of time. And they typically charge 1%. on the money they lend. So they lend 120 grand. What's 1%? You know, like $1,200 for the time they lend it to me. What happens here is that the $1,200 that I owe to them will get paid. So this is what happens. Let's say this transactional lender right here says, yes, Carlos, I'll go ahead and put my 30% in. Boom. Now this motherfucker over here, this bank, this DSCR loan, this lender right here says, cool, I see your 30%. Bam. Here's your 70%. Boom. There's 100,000. There's 100% of the purchase price. There's 400 G's sitting in escrow. Transaction is closed. This DSCR lender bounced, homie. He saw your skin in the game. No longer has to wait to see your skin in the game. Motherfucker bounced. I'll see you later. He's not gonna come check on this deal again. What happens here is that $120,000 that funded the deal from that transactional lender, you already gave instructions to an escrow to release their money and then give them $1,200 on top, their 1%. And so right when you get funded, there's $280,000 that gets funded, right? So you pay $120,000 and you're left with $160,000. So with $280,000, you pay $120,000. Sorry for all the scribbles and everything, guys. But you're left with $160,000. So it's a little small corner, my bad. But you're left with $160,000 minus, I don't know, closing fees or whatever. But just for example purposes, let's just say there's no fees left. That 160 grand you're going to use to pay that $1,200 back over here. So you're minus $1,200. This 30% is now back with the transactional lender. And now you gave instructions to the escrow company to go ahead and draft the promissory note or the mortgage for the 70% that the homeowner, the property owner, was willing to finance you. This is where it can get a little confusing because it's like, yo, Carlos, didn't they lend you 70%? So all you needed 30%? Yeah, but that wasn't the arranged agreement with the homeowner. The homeowner doesn't know what the fuck's really happening behind the scenes over here. They don't know that. So what happens is I do have a payment to this 280 grand that I owe to this lender. I do have a payment every month with a high interest rate, but it's not 100% of the purchase price. Now here's the cool part. That $160,000 is the end buyers. That's a fucking fat ass fee to pay them to buy a house. They bought that house. They bought the fucking house and got paid for it and tax free. And so the cool thing about that is exactly that. You buy a property, automatically could be cash flowing, and you got fucking paid up front. So it's infinite return right off the gates. You just got paid on that. Now, the confusing part was, like I said at first, was like, why didn't you give them the full 70%? Because you don't fucking need to. Somebody told me because you don't need to. I was like, oh, okay. I always thought, because I never really pay attention to it that much, that you usually had to give the full 70%. Not true. So now, though you owe 70%, 70% is sitting in first position. That's what's happening. 70% sits in first position, though you didn't give all 70 to the homeowner in their pocket. You still owe 70%. I just gave them 30. I kept 40. And then I told the escrow, yo, draft me a promissory note, an IOU, a mortgage for the 70%. So the 30% that got paid to them and that 70% does make the full $400,000 note right there. They can see the full purchase price right there. 10, 15, 30 years you have on the financing, it won't even matter to give. You don't have to give them that full 70%. I always thought you did. I haven't closed on one of these yet, but now that I'm totally aware, it's game time. We're now using it, pitching it. People are becoming open to it. Some people are not because of the second position. But this fucking strategy right here is fucking golden. It works even on deals that aren't distressed. It works on deals like portfolios. This is golden because we do come across homeowners that are open to terms. It just, their down payment fucks up our deal. This is mind blowing.
Can you apply that on multifamilies on
Yeah.
anything across the board?
Yes, you can. We have an underwriter and a buyer that will underwrite some of these multifamily if you have some, and the homeowner is open to carrying, some equity. 30, I mean, like, let's say they want to carry anywhere from 40, 50, 60, 70%. We can make it happen.
What about like rehab, like anything, rehab, development, shovel ready, all those?
That's good. I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's, you just got to run your numbers, but I'm sure it'll still work because at the end of the day, you need to come to the table with the loan. But at the same time, DSCR loans, I'm not sure if their exact qualifications of a property that they'll lend on. So I don't know if fix and flips work or not. I know that you can use other investment loans like myinvestorloan.com that loans on like the strength of the deal or opportunity on the deal. So I would, get strategic and find out other lenders that lend on this type of shit. But yeah, everything could be possible.
Nice, thank you.
Roger says, do you pay the hard money and seller financing payment each month? That's not hard money. A DSCR loan is not hard money. It's just going to be an amortized loan. It's just through the debt cover servicing ratio loans for the banks or for the lenders that do them. So with those, you do apply your credit though, and you do have to have money sitting in the bank when you do these type of transactions. But there are other investor loans. I'm not sure if they are DSCR loans. Forgive me, I'm not too versed in all that stuff. But another investor loans that you don't need to put your credit on, like as far as I'm not sure actually 100% how it works. I just learned that I heard multiple times that they're asset based, and so I can imagine that they're not on the strength of your credit, more on the asset itself. Does anybody have any questions on that? You fucking mind blown, or you guys lost, or you guys understood it?
I did get a little lost in this one.